Chapter 1, The Setup. I always prided myself on being ahead of the curve, whether it was adopting the latest tech or planning our future with meticulous care. When Sarah and I bought our dream home, I knew it was the perfect canvas to integrate the latest in smart home technology. I envisioned a safe, efficient, and connected haven, one that would simplify our lives and provide peace of mind. Our house buzzed with the quiet hum of innovation, cameras discreetly tucked away in every corner, smart locks that recorded every entry and exit, and a digital assistant that answered to our every whim. To me, it was more than just convenience, it was security and a symbol of our modern life together. But beneath the seamless functionality of our home, small details began to emerge that I couldn't quite place. A motion alert late at night that I initially dismissed as a glitch, a log entry that didn't quite match our usual routine. I chalked these up to the quirks of new technology until the first real sign made me question everything. It started with a routine check of our living room camera footage, a habit I'd developed to ensure our home was always secure. That night, as I scrolled through the feed, I noticed something off, a brief, unexplained absence of movement that didn't fit with Sarah's usual quiet evenings at home. I couldn't have known then that this tiny irregularity was the opening act of a much larger, heart-wrenching performance. As I sat in the dim light of our smart home hub, the blend of futuristic technology and everyday life felt suddenly intimate, as if our house itself was trying to whisper secrets. And with that subtle hint of betrayal, a chill crept into the warmth of our home, a prelude to the unraveling of everything I thought I knew about us. Chapter 2, The First Red Flag. At first, I told myself I was overthinking things. I had no reason to doubt Sarah. We had been together for 6 years, married for 4, and as far as I knew, things were good. But something about that missing camera footage nagged at me. I wasn't a paranoid guy, but I was a logical one. And logically, footage doesn't just disappear. A few nights later, while I was working late at the office, I got another motion alert from the smart home app. This time, I checked immediately. The camera had been disabled again. I called Sarah. Me, hey, everything okay? I just got an alert, but the camera's off. Sarah, laughing, oh, yeah. I was moving some stuff and unplugged it. You know how finicky that thing is. I wanted to believe her. I really did. But deep down, a part of me knew she had never unplugged the camera before, not once in the 2 years we'd had it. And why now? Still, I let it go. Maybe it really was nothing. Chapter 3, The Smart Lock Logs. A week later, I was up late working when I randomly decided to check our smart lock history. The system logs every entry and exit every time the door opens, whether with a key, a code, or the app. It was a small habit of mine, just to make sure everything was in order. That's when I saw it. On nights when I was working late, there was a pattern. 10:12 p.m., front door unlocked. 2:48 a.m., front door locked. It happened 3 times in the last 2 weeks. Always late at night. Always when I wasn't home. Sarah never mentioned having friends over. And even if she did, who leaves in the middle of the night like that? I started to feel that familiar tightness in my chest, the one you get when you know something is off, but you don't want to admit it yet. I decided to test her. Chapter 4, A Simple Lie. The next day, I casually asked Sarah how her night was. She smiled, scrolling through her phone. Sarah, oh, just the usual. Netflix, wine, and some bad reality TV. I watched her closely. No hesitation. No flicker of doubt. She had no idea I had already seen the smart lock logs. That's when I knew. She was lying to my face. Chapter 5, The Alexa Slip-Up. At this point, I was unsettled but not entirely convinced. Maybe there was an innocent explanation. Maybe I was letting my imagination run wild. Then came the moment that changed everything. One evening, I was sitting at my desk at work when I decided to check our Alexa voice history. I hadn't looked at it in months, but I remembered reading once that Alexa stores all voice commands in the app. Out of sheer curiosity, I scrolled through the recent activity. And then, I saw them. Voice commands I had never made. Backhand index pointing right Alexa, play romantic music. Backhand index pointing right Alexa, turn off the living room lights. Backhand index pointing right Alexa, set an alarm for 2 a.m. My stomach dropped. Why would Sarah need an alarm at 2 a.m. on the exact night someone was leaving our house at that time? Then came the worst one. Backhand index pointing right Alexa, remind Mark to leave by 2 a.m. My blood ran cold. Who the hell was Mark? Chapter 6, The Confrontation. That night, I waited until Sarah was in bed before I calmly gathered my evidence: screenshots of the smart lock logs, the Alexa history, and the camera footage gaps. I wasn't going to jump to conclusions. I wanted to hear what she had to say first. The next morning, over coffee, I casually brought it up. Hey, weird thing, I was checking our Alexa history and saw some interesting voice commands. Sarah, laughing nervously, oh yeah? Like what? Like remind Mark to leave by 2 a.m. Silence. Her face turned pale. She put her cup down, swallowing hard. Sarah, I don't know what that is. Maybe Alexa misheard something. I pulled out my phone and showed her the smart lock logs. And the front door unlocking at 10 p.m. and locking again at 2 a.m. That's happened multiple times now. Tears welled in her eyes. She knew she was caught. She didn't even try to deny it. Turns out, Mark was a co-worker. They had been sneaking around for months while I was at work. She thought she was being careful, but our smart home outsmarted her. I felt like I was in a bad movie. My house, the one I built for security and convenience, had turned into a silent witness to my own betrayal. Chapter 7, The Aftermath. I left that night. Packed a bag and stayed with a friend. She cried, begged me to talk, but there was nothing left to say. I filed for divorce 2 weeks later. And the best part? The lawyer loved the evidence. Cold, hard digital proof. Our smart home had done more than just catch a cheater, it had made sure she couldn't lie her way out of it. Would you want a bonus? Where are they now? Chapter. Smiling face with horns.